everybody, welcome back to my channel. You have Tasha Y. Miller here, and today we're going to be talking about different ways to come up with story ideas. So these are some of the ideas that I came up with. I'm going to give you my top 10, but there are always different ways. Stories can be made from anything. Number one, a picture. So you can draw a picture or you can find a picture on the web. So this is something that you would have to research. It can be any picture. It can be a picture of a person. It can be a picture of a town. It can be a picture of a smoke. Anything that you want. And that makes that brain start working for a story. Number two is a book cover. Now, you can go on websites that sell book covers and find a book cover that inspires you. Number three, you can create your characters first. So I know a few people that have tons of characters and they love character building. So that is how they start. They find these characters that they love, that they fall in love with, and then they throw them into a story. Because they know their characters so well, they can throw them to any scenario and they know what will happen. They know how they'll react. Number four, focus on an object. Now, depending on what type of story you're writing, this can be anything. It can be a crystal, it can be a TV, it can be a toilet, it can be a pumpkin, it can be an animal, anything that you want. You're just focusing on an object or on a thing. So remember, when you're doing this, this is going to be creating a world around that object. If it's a crystal, there's tons of power and everyone's going to try to get it. Or maybe it finds someone because it belongs to that family and her powers are going to come as soon as she touches the crystal. So you can do anything with it. You just need to build the world around your object. Number five, focusing on a power or a species. So with this one, you can do shapeshifters, you can do vampires, you can do the power of flight, the power of flame, any type of power or any type of species, you can build a world around them. If you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, I wonder how a half-blood vampire is going to be, and you just start going and your mind starts working, and then you're like, what if he meets a person? What if she's angry and she wants to kill all the vampires because she thinks that they're all evil? So it can just keep going and you just create a story. Number six, lay down in the dark and start thinking. So when we're laying down to go to bed, that's when most of our really cool ideas come in. So just try doing it without going to bed. Just lay down in the dark, let your mind just think over things and see if something comes up. For me, I really love to dance in the dark. I know it sounds a little weird, but that's when my mind really works and it just like, oh, this would be a great idea. And that's how I do it. Number seven, find out a quote that you really like. A great way to find ideas is read a quote, you really like the quote, and build a world around a quote. Build a story. Find something that, oh, that is really cool, even if it's just a word. And you're like, oh, that's pretty awesome. In the show Criminal Minds, every single show has a quote by someone. Now, I don't know if they find that quote afterwards, but that quote revolves around the story of each show. So in The Smokiest Grave, a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt really stuck out. She just absolutely hit the spot for my story. I'll read it. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face and then say to yourself, I lived through this horror, I can take the next thing that comes along. So that quote really spoke to Kat in this book. She just absolutely loves that quote because that's kind of how she lives her life. She can get through it if she's already lived through so much horror. The fact that the guy comes in and he says that quote to her, it's just like a bong, what the hell? That's awesome. They're already connected in some way because they both like that quote. Number 8, a landmark. Now these ones are the easiest to do because you just find a place or something that you really love and tell us what you see, because you don't have to create something. You already know that it exists. If you want to use Scotland, that's a big, huge place that you can write about. You just have to look at pictures and tell us what you see. If you want to use a tree, if you want to use a castle, if you want to use anything, a statue, you can use that and just get that mind working and put it into a story. How does that tree come into play? Number 9, listen to music and get creative juices flowing. So this one, you're not really going to listen to the words and say, oh, I want to make a book around the words. You're going to listen to how it makes you feel. How does this go with your book? How does this go with what you want? So when you're listening to rock and you're like, I need to do a battle and I need to listen to some hardcore rock and just get in the mood and start jotting down some punches, some kicks, some flies. So that's how you would do it if you want to use music. You would use music to just inspire you to get those emotions out so you can write the scene or the story that you're looking for. Number 10, play the story game with your friends. So you have to have friends that actually like this, or they're going to be pretty mad that they have to play it. And make sure that you let them know that, hey, I might be using this in some of my stories. Are you okay with that? So what it is that you guys find an object, find a person, and start saying a story. If you see a little kid and he's crying, and then you start talking what the mom is saying for him, and then what the kid says, and the dad comes in, it's like, oh, well, he's over there and he's like, you need to stop being so harsh on our son. He can have the popsicle. And it just keeps going and going. And then you can say, oh, they're going to get home to their beautiful house, but she's a druggie and she just hookering on the side. It's just, you can come up with crazy, crazy things, but you just build the story off another person or off a few people. So it's just something to get your mind going and have fun. You don't even need to do it to create a story. You can just do it to have fun with your friends. They also have board games where you have like pictures and you have to put the pictures in order of a story, but that one's not very fun, and it's a fun game, but it's not fun when you're trying to actually create a story. Alright everybody, that's all I have for you today. That is my top 10 things that you can do to get your mind flowing, to get some ideas coming to that beautiful brain of yours. Go ahead and comment down below. You can tweet me at Tasha Y. Miller. You can go to my website, www.tashaymiller.com. Do know that I'm going to give the 4 chapters out for free on my website once it's published. So I am hoping for November 30th. Keep fingers crossed. If not, it'll be delayed and go into into December a little bit. Bye.